we need to talk about the Ubuntu App Center, because the Ubuntu App Center is one of the worst App Store experiences I've ever used for any Linux distro. And before you tell me send patches, I've actually built my own App Store before for a Linux system with Still Center on StillOS. Now, I have gotten criticism that the App Center feels MVP. That's a business term, minimum viable product. Yeah, I am working on it. It's going to get a lot more full-featured soon. But that said, I do have experience building a software center, so I know of all the challenges that can occur when doing so. That said, I just want to mention that I am still a little bit sick, so sorry about my voice. And also, I've been hearing the comments about the mic quality, so I'm seeing if these Apple earbuds are going to give me a better temporary mic until I can afford to buy a new one on my college student budget. Anyways, with that said, let's just jump in and let's first talk about the app curation. The app curation in the Ubuntu App Center is horrible. So when you first open it, it wants you to install Mumble, which is open source, but most people are not installing that as the first thing they install. And then they recommend KDE Color Paint, which we're on a Gnome desktop. Why are they recommending KDE apps straight out of the gate? It isn't even recommending any GDK apps here. And I'm actually going to install Color Paint here so that I can show you why they shouldn't be recommending KDE apps at all. I'm not saying they shouldn't let you install KDE apps, but they shouldn't be recommending them. Also, this is a 9 megabyte download. Supposedly, why is this taking a year to install? Okay, we're gonna have to get back to that. Now, next up, it's showing Insomnia, which is not an app I've heard of. So again, why is this displayed right off the bat as one of the first things to install? Sea Lion, great app. Last year, I double majored computer science with business, and I did drop computer science. I only do business now, but when I was a computer science major, even though the class made you use Visual Studio, I actually used my GitHub student plan of Sea Lion instead for that class because I really like Sea Lion for writing C code. But that said, this is a paid app. So I don't know why they're recommending it as one of the first things to install. Heymail, that's another paid app that costs $99 per year. And notice how it has poor reviews, yet it's being displayed front and center. And then we have Super Productivity, which is an Electron app. Okay, now if we keep scrolling down, these are good app recommendations, but I do want to point out some apps are just using the package name. I guess they didn't put inside of the app data for the store an actual display name, so it falls back to the package. But this happens on way too many apps. It's happening right here for Blender, which is lowercase. Bob Ross Quotes. Why is this even recommended? Like, why are we recommending new users to install Bob Ross Quotes terminal app? And why does the screenshot cut off? Like, you have to resize the window to get the full screenshot. But yeah, I know this seems really nitpicky, but this is the type of thing that my mom would try Linux and install Ubuntu and open the App Center for the first time, and she'd see this, and this just makes Linux/Ubuntu look like the nerd operating system. Like, first impressions really matter here. For some reason, it is recommending Notepad++ through Wine as an app to install through the App Center. And then for the featured snaps, if we go to Discover More, we're not really getting that many options for apps. It's about 16 total if it wants to scroll down. Is it? Yeah, only 16 total apps. One of these apps is, okay, what the hell is going on now? I know I'm in a virtual machine, but that doesn't typically happen in VMs for me. Okay, I'm going to try updating Ubuntu and see if that fixes it. Okay, I just tried to update Ubuntu and I'm getting a CD-ROM error. I ran apt update. Okay, I fixed it. I did not expect to have to be messing around with app sources on a fresh install of Ubuntu in 2026. Like, what? That is fucking insane to me. Okay, snap upgrade is not the right command. Can I update my snap? Refresh maybe? What? Okay, that wasn't the right command. You have to run snap refresh. Okay. Okay, one update and a reboot later. Let's go back to the App Center. Oh yeah, let's go back to why KDE apps shouldn't be shown on the homepage on a Gnome desktop. Because if we open Color Paint, a KDE app right here, obviously the snap's going to take 30 years to open. But as you can see right here, the title bar text is like bold and blurry. And if we put the system in dark mode, okay, that time it didn't even go into dark mode. Okay, literally every other time I tested that, it would go dark and these icons would stay dark while the rest of the app is also dark. I don't know what happened there to not happen. I'm gonna put a screenshot here of what I'm talking about from a previous test run I did on that before this video. Now, I have a creative solution to that problem. StillOS, if we go to a Qt app that isn't going to work well, it has a little still rating right here, and you can get bronze, silver, gold, gold plus. And so this is a bronze rated app right here, and if we click on it, it's going to give you a little explanation on why it was rated bronze. And then if we go to a libidweta app, boom, gold plus. And GIMP here, that's a GDK3 app that isn't libidweta, but that just gets gold. So gold would mean you don't have any issues running it on a Gnome system or Wayland or Flatpak. So gold plus is just a little quality bump. That's why I'm not doing diamond or platinum, because you don't have to run gold plus for everything. But that's the creative solution I tried to come up with for the problem of KDE apps being listed on Gnome. Anyways, I do want to show off some things I do like about the App Center, kind of, before I crap on it a bit more. So some of the categories, for example, if we go to games, look at this, they have app bundles. This is a really cool idea. Although some of the bundles are incomplete, like game launchers is literally only Steam. Like you can't throw Lutris on there or Heroic or anything like that. What about content creation? The apps are Discord, OBS, Kdenlive. OBS and Kdenlive are great apps, but why is Discord on here? And why isn't there an image editor? You have to make YouTube thumbnails. Why isn't there something like Audacity? A lot of content creators do some processing to their audio, or if you're recording a podcast, you do it in Audacity. It would be cool too if they had some apps that like you might not traditionally think of when you're making content, like maybe put like a teleprompter app right there or something like that. But cool idea for a feature, just kind of flawed implementation. I also noticed some of these bundles had an install all button while others didn't. Anyways, back to more App Center problems. The App Center isn't actually Snap only. It actually does support installing app packages too, but you're not going to be getting any app packages listed anywhere if you're just browsing the store. The only times you're going to see app packages is if you search for something. So in your little search, it's going to give you the option for deb packages here. And if we go to show all results, it defaults to Snap, which that's not all results. That's about half the results. But if we go to filter by here, we can change it to deb packages. But if you click on some of them, like LibreOffice Writer, something went wrong. Are you serious right now? No, I think this is happening because there's like 6 different LibreOffice apps right here, and I'm pretty sure the package is just apt install LibreOffice. Okay, the search just completely broke for me. I can no longer search, so I'm gonna have to kill the app and reopen it. I'm not staging any of this, by the way. I just keep getting issues. I actually didn't expect that LibreOffice app to not work. That wasn't planned. So in that case, let's try a different app. Let's try Gnome Weather. Now, one thing I want you to note with this deb package is this is running Gnome Weather 50. That's the latest version here of Gnome Weather. Let's go to the snap package of Gnome Weather. Oh, it's version 48, last updated in July 2025. So you're telling me that this package format that Ubuntu is trying to push down everyone's throats doesn't have the latest version of software? Isn't that like part of the entire point of Snap? And funnily enough, this isn't just Gnome Weather, but we go to the featured Explore tab right here and go to Gnome Calendar. This is an even older version. This is Gnome Calendar from Gnome 44, and this is packaged by Canonical. And if we go here, the stable version's 44. They have the Gnome 48 version as a candidate version you can install instead. And also this icon is ancient. I'm sorry, this is just funny to me how like poorly maintained this is. Canonical is a $1 billion company and they can't do this right. There's community Linux distros that are packaging stuff like this correctly, and Canonical can't do it for the package manager they actually want you to use. But then the package manager that they're trying to limit you from using has a newer version that they packaged, or Debian package, but that they're shipping. It's and this is not an uncommon thing for snaps. Like, if I just search Gnome right here, almost every single Gnome app I'm going to click is an ancient version. 45 right here for Gnome Contacts, 45 for Gnome Boxes, 48 for Gnome Text Editor. That's only 2 versions old. That's not as bad. This is a really bad quality control problem that Ubuntu has with the Snap Store. Okay, you have Gnome Web, which is a web browser at an older version. That is something that should be always on the latest version. And again, this isn't just a problem with Gnome apps only. because if we go back to LibreOffice right here, this is version 25, and I'm just going to go to the terminal and app search for LibreOffice since I can't open it inside of the App Center. But the latest version in the Ubuntu repos is 26.2.2.2. So, and that is also the version they have as a candidate. But why is this a candidate? It's clearly stable for them to put it in the official repositories for Ubuntu. So why is this a candidate on Snap? I'm just trying to think of more random apps to try. Let's try Audacity. Okay, that's 2 point releases behind on the Snap version. Okay, GIMP is an app that actually does have the latest version on the Snap Store, but maybe that's because it's packaged by the GIMP team and not Canonical or Snapcrafters or some random developer like a lot of the other packages are. With all that said, if you're running Ubuntu, what can you use instead of the Ubuntu App Center? Well, you have a few options. Now, one decent option, yes, the user interface is a little bit dated, but it's just classic. It's been working for years. The Synaptic Package Manager. Easy way to just browse the entire app repo for different packages you may need. LibreOffice. So this is sort of a more advanced user tool. Now, if you still want like an App Store Software Center experience, you can install the Gnome Software Center. So if you install only just Gnome-software, then it's actually only going to give you the option for deb packages, which I think is honestly what a lot of people want if they're anti-snap. So I just clicked the first app I saw, but as you can see right here, this is from the Ubuntu repo. Now you can actually very easily get both support for Flatpak and Snap if you just install the Gnome software -plugin either Flatpak or Snap, and then you can actually add that support into the Gnome Software Center. And I wonder if Bazaar is in the repos. Damn, it is. And then I'm really surprised this is in the Ubuntu repos, but another great option is Bazaar. Now, this is going to be for Flatpaks only, but it's basically just the FlatHub website, but packaged as a GDK app instead. Now, what I like to do, one thing that may be useful for you is having Bazaar installed only for Flatpaks, and then having Gnome software installed only for deb packages. And that way you have sort of two different separate apps to actually manage them. Or you can just use Gnome Software Center and manage both, because if you have Flatpak, oh, I forgot to install the Flatpak plugin, but here we go. The apps that are going to have an option for both a Ubuntu Deb and a Flatpak, it's just right under the install button. Very easy to switch. So with that said though, I don't know if I can recommend Ubuntu anymore to beginners, because the Ubuntu App Center is just that god-awful of an experience. And again, that's one of the most important apps on the operating system. The default pre-installed pinned apps are Firefox, the File Manager, and App Center. And I don't know why no one else is talking about how bad the Ubuntu App Center specifically is. Even if you like snaps, the user experience of the App Center itself is just terrible. With all that being said, thank you guys for 10,000 subscribers. That is pretty fucking cool. Now, if you want to help me get to 100,000, you can click subscribe right here, support a broke college student on Patreon, and then right here, I'm going to put my video about the downfall of the Ubuntu platform, and then right here, I'm going to put my video about why Flatpak won and Snaps didn't. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.